Hello, my gorgeous peopleini. These are your spirit guide messages, and these spirit guide messages are going to be for all 12 signs of zodiac, and these messages are all about what do you need to pay attention to right now at this moment in your life. These messages are going to be for all 12 signs of zodiac, and as usual, they are going to be individually time-stamped. These messages are timeless, which means that you are most certainly and most importantly, you're going to hear these messages, you're going to come across these messages whenever you are literally meant to come across these messages, whenever you're meant to hear them indeed. So now I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries. Aries, what you need to understand, this is important because it's about the illusion of entrapment. You need to work on this illusion of entrapment because that in itself, it's making you to kind of have a lack of confidence, and that in itself, it's making you kind of feel helpless with the parts of your life that you should not feel helpless, with the parts of your life that you should most certainly and most importantly where you should be putting your foot down. So now you know this is also kind of affecting you in such a way where you are maybe not even realizing this, because it's a lot to do with your subconscious mind, you see. So this is kind of affecting you in such a way where you are afraid to take action. So what your message is, your message, my gorgeous Erini, is that you need to work on this, and you must above all cost take responsibility for your life right now. Very important indeed. The second message is going to be for my gorgeous Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. You are indeed about to plant a really important seeds. You're about to begin something really significant. You're about to start something really significant, because it's all about you needing to understand that at this time of your life, in your life, it's all about you starting a new project, or it's all about you planting these spiritual seeds and giving a birth to something so important, giving a birth to your own dream. This, my gorgeous Taurini, is of course a very important sign that whatever you are about to start, the seeds are going to be very well planted indeed. And any efforts and investments that you're making right now are going to be absolutely rewarded in the future. Okay, but you need to understand an important message with this also is, you know, the actual need for patience, the need to be patient at this moment in your life, because at the same time, you know, this is the time for kind of resting and planning for the future, but at the same time, naturally, you are going to be worrying. Naturally, you are going to enter kind of a deep thinking mode. So when it comes to that deep thinking mode, my gorgeous Taurini, you just need to understand that this is the part of this energy, this part of this vibration, because when you're so successful, when it comes to like planning, when it comes to beginning the projects, you know, when it comes to planting seeds and doing things like that, at the same time, naturally, your mind reflects, you know, towards all different kind of like dimensions that naturally makes you kind of wonder and think about quite a lot. You start to get really big picture because you go really deep. So that's why I need you to understand and to pay attention to that particular balance, to not to unnecessarily worry whatsoever, because you're only going to slow yourself down. What you need to do is just focus on that new project that is coming up for you. Important indeed. The next sign is going to be my gorgeous Gemini. Geminini, what you need to understand, the message from your spirit guide is also very strong. You're about to have a new start. You're about to have a fresh start. My goodness. And you must, above all costs, you need to trust yourself. You must also understand to push your fears aside and take a leap of faith. This is very important. You're about to have a new start, my gorgeous Geminini. You must trust yourself. You're also going to enter that rather deep thinking mode. You know, a lot is going to start happening. A lot is going to kind of grab your attention, but you must not allow that or anything on the outside to take the better of you. So at the same time, when we are facing something new, when we are facing a new start, new beginning, you know, and things like that, at the same time, we need to give a little bit to it, especially when it comes to our own energy in terms of the actual optimism. And when we are facing fears and things like that, just kind of make the most of it. Redirect this energy, you know, make something playful out of it, rather than like kind of like, oh my God, let this kind of to make you negative, you know. So my gorgeous Gemini, you need to understand you are about to have a new start. You must trust yourself. It's not going to be long after you hear this reading that you are literally going to have a new start, and you must trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more successful you are going to be. The more you trust yourself, the more happier you are going to be. The more you trust yourself, the more victorious you are going to be. So anything weird and bizarre and strange that comes out of you, just do it, just go with it, you know. And the more weirder you are, the more successful you are going to be. The more you allow yourself to be yourself, the more powerful you're going to become. Very important message for you, my gorgeous Gemini, indeed. The next sign that I'm going to have a special a message for is going to be my gorgeous Cancer. My beautiful Cancerini, the message from your spirit guide is rather significant also. You need to manage your resources really wisely at this moment in time, okay? Extremes in how you give or receive money, you know, and things like that. You need to kind of really kind of pay attention to this. You need to kind of like really don't waste your finances, don't waste your resources at this moment in time. Don't kind of go into any big ventures. Don't kind of like really try to invest into something big or something huge at the moment, because it's not going to be the right time, which means that it's like all about the actual planning and planning and planning. Now, my gorgeous Cancerini, you're entering a stage in your life where it's not so much about buying and investing just at this moment, but what you need to do, because if you start doing this at this moment in time, it's just going to take you somewhere off course, you know. It's going to take you somewhere where you don't want to be at this moment in time, and then you're going to miss things that you should be really working on spiritually. And what you should be working on spiritually at this moment in time, it's about planning. You need to find an aspect, and you are about to find an aspect of your life which is going to inspire you so much, and it is not going to be that long after you hear this reading. You are going to find an aspect of your life which is going to inspire you like nothing ever before, and this is something that it's going to be a clear sign and indication that you need to work on, but in such a way where you're going to feel a very strong connection to this inspiration, what you're going to stumble upon, but you're going to not know how. You're not going to be able to see there yourself there just yet. You're not going to be able to see there like doing it and achieving it. Because why? Because naturally you need to go through this with your own thoughts. There is so much that you're going to find out, there's so much that you're going to become aware of, and there is so much that you need to plan in order to actually understand exactly how you're going to get and how you're going to achieve this part of your life. This is all going to be absolutely evident to you, but at the same time, you know, it's just going to provide such a nice, beautiful, massive stepping stone, like a spiritual bridge, which is going to help you so much to get much quicker and sooner to the part of your life that means to you the most, what you want to achieve when it comes to your dream, when it comes to you feeling really solid, when it comes to your finances and things like that. So now it's all about managing your resources really wisely. Don't invest into too big things and things like that. Just be very kind of careful about things like that, but most importantly, just really kind of pay attention to that inspiration which you are about to have, that huge massive inspiration which is going to need a careful planning and some time for you to kind of get used to this vibration and feeling, because at the same time it is going to bring you the process of learning. You know, there are so many things that are going to be connected to this where you're going to need to kind of learn more and things like that. The next sign that I'm going to be having a special message from the spirit guide, it's going to be my gorgeous Leo. Sorry. My gorgeous Leone, you need to kind of really pay attention to this, because this is quite important as well. You must pay attention to this. My goodness, please do not make an unwise choice. Very soon there is a certain choice that it's going to be presented to you. Very, very soon there is going to be a certain choice that is going to be presented to you. But as soon as you become aware of that choice, something is not going to feel right. Something is not going to feel okay. Something is not just going to be kind kind of something is not going to be right about that particular choice whatsoever. So already your subconscious mind is going to be guiding you, but then at the same time, it's almost like a half of you, it's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go for it. But then half of it is going to be no baby no, and the half where it's saying no baby no, this is the one that you should be really obviously like paying attention to. But I know that you are going to be aware of that something is not right when you're presented with that choice. Something is not going to be right. Something is not going to feel right, and you will know it. And this is going to be very soon coming into your life. And that choice is a lot about you kind of doing this and then kind of creating some kind of a shortcut. Do you know what? It's going to seem like too good to be true. Of course, if something is too good to be true to you, if you feel it like that way, then you should just run on miles, you know, in a quite opposite direction indeed. So my gorgeous Leonie, you are going to have become aware of this something is going to be offered to you, but at the same time you're going to become aware of the unwise choice. And that means, you know, that, you know, there is going to be certain after that moment in time, there is going to be revelation which is going to make quite a lot clear to you, especially when it comes to like you becoming aware of that unwise choice. But then at the same time, when you become aware of that revelation, after that you are going to become aware of a much better way to make you happier anyway. So what you also need to remember, my gorgeous Leonie, that at this moment in time you need to avoid people who lack integrity or who have a rather questionable motives as well. Very important. So you protect yourself, protect your energy with people who don't mean anything to you indeed. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to the next sign the sign that I'm going to be having a special message for from the spirit guide, it's going to be my gorgeous Virgo, my beautiful Virgolini. What you need to understand, like, oh my god, you are entering a very unusual stage and very unusual period of your life. And I'm saying this because now the more the time goes by, the more nostalgic you are going to feel. So this stage and this period of your life is going to make you feel really nostalgic indeed. You will see that you're going to feel reconnected with the people from your past, with the people from your childhood. You will start feeling reconnected, you know, with the things that you used to do that makes you feel really, really happy. But most importantly, you know, there is going to be a very, very strong reconnection with your childhood, for example. And that in itself, it's something it's going to be highlighted. So it's not only about feeling nostalgic, but as soon as you start feeling nostalgic, as soon as you start like kind of thinking about friends you haven't seen in a long time, as soon as you kind of start like focusing on things, you know, in your life that passed a long time ago, as soon as like a certain people from the past just cross your mind, like the best friends ever, for example, but also at the same time people who you haven't seen in absolute years, for example, and then suddenly you're just remembering them. You can remember them just like while you're kind of chilling out, and suddenly they just pop out in your head. Or you can just suddenly, like, maybe you kind of hear something about them, or certain people are mentioned to you, and then suddenly you find yourself like thinking about them and things like that. But as soon as, you know, you become aware of this nostalgia, what is most important here, that your nostalgia, my gorgeous Virgolini, it's also going to play a really special role here. And what is that special role that nostalgia is going to fill? So it's not only about people that you are remembering, no baby no, there is a much bigger picture coming out of it. What you need to understand, as soon as you become so nostalgic, it's not only about the people that you're going to be remembering, but this is going to be your sacred sign, and it's going to come to you one person after another, or you're going to feel very strong connection with someone in particular from your past, but you're not going to be able to explain, and you will want to see someone so badly in particular from your past, and you will not be able to explain this, somebody who you you kind of like haven't seen in a long time, and then suddenly you have this urge to see them type of thing, you know. So it's going to come in so many different forms. But the most important thing here is that as soon as you become aware of this, you need to understand that your sacred sign here is your sacred message, that your spirit guides are trying to make you aware of the fact that, you know, you need to revisit old dream, and it's to do with an old plan. Okay, so it's to do with you revisiting old dream, and it's to do with a certain plan. It's to do with you revisiting an old plan. something from the past you need to bring into this present moment, because it's making you kind of unhappy and it's going to be making you really unhappy, because this in itself, it's really kind of signifying the fact that a huge part of you is actually missing right now in this world. You can't focus as well as you normally can. You can't ground yourself as normally you can. You can't like center yourself as well as you normally can, because this part of your life is missing, and it was got stuck in the past, my gorgeous Virgolini. Now it's time for you to actually bring this back. So it's to do with an old dream, but it's to do with an old plan, you know, an old plan, but it's to do with an old dream. Do you know what I mean? So this is something that you need to embrace. This is so important, because at the same time, you know, you are gonna become aware of the return of people in your life from your past as well. And the moment you become aware of the return of people, you know, from your past, then that in itself is again going to highlight this old dream and old plan, because all these people from your past are gonna be playing like a really special role when it comes to you, through them remembering this old dream and plan of yours, through them, like you picking up on this vibration, picking up on this energy. You know, they are there for a reason. The people who are meant to be in our lives, they're meant to be in our lives for a reason, that very often pinpoint on things that we should pay attention to, and very often we kind of lose the track with these things when kind of so much is going on around us. So sometimes we just need to be pulled back with the people who are really, really special in our lives indeed. And this is exactly what is going to happen here. These people in your life are also going to be playing an important role when it comes to you feeling very firmly and strongly that you want to revisit that old dream and plan that I'm talking about. Okay, so they are kind of going to remind you how much this means to you, and sometimes we just need this in our lives, you know. It's important, of course. So this in itself, it's also going to bring back an element of you that you should bring into this present moment in time. It was stuck in the past. Because it was stuck in the past, it was meant to be stuck in the past. The certain time needed to be passed, needed to be gone, my gorgeous Virgolini, because you needed like to gather like a certain experience with your knowledge. So far you've been gathering so much knowledge, and you understood and understand so much, you understood so much, you know. So now you will be able to apply that knowledge that you've gained so far and reconnect yourself with your spiritual journey. This is absolutely super important, because it's bringing you hope, faith and inspiration into your life. The next sign that I'm going to be having a special message for from the spirit guide, it's going to be my gorgeous Libra. My beautiful Libra, oh my goodness, you know, you are about to have a spiritual awakening like literally never ever ever before. This is what you need to understand, okay? So you need to understand that before you have the spiritual awakening, and how the spiritual awakening is going to start, well, let me tell you something, my gorgeous Libra, that your spiritual awakening already started, you know. And when it comes to the spiritual awakening, it takes time, and it works in so many different ways. It even drains our energy sometimes. It confuses us sometimes. We go really deep, we go really confused for a little while. We also got a little bit angry for a little while, and then we care about everything, then we don't care about anything. You know, you just need to go through all these feelings, all this vibration, until you come back home to yourself. So your spiritual awakening already started. But my gorgeous Libra, how this is going to unfold now after you hear this reading, this is a very special sign, very special sacred moment that you are about to have. And now it's basically you're gonna feel that you need a temporary pause, you know, for reflection and insight. So very, very soon after you hear this reading, you're gonna feel the need for balance into your life. And as soon as you feel this need for balance into your life, this is when you need to understand that this is the time, you know, for pause and reflection and insight. Because at the same time, this is going to help you with your awakening, where you will see things in a whole new light. But what you need to understand understand is that on one hand, you must embrace your uniqueness. Libra, it's all about you embracing your uniqueness. This is all about you rejuvenating yourself, regenerating yourself. You're going through your own transition. You're going through your own transformation. This is important. And to make the most of it is to embrace your uniqueness. So it's not only about you going through your own spiritual awakening, but it's at the same time for you to understand what a powerful time this is. So this time is coming. You're already going through a spiritual awakening. You're questioning a lot around you. There are lots of things that don't make sense. There are lots of things that are making you angry, making you frustrated because you can't understand why some people do certain things that you can't understand. For example, do you know what I mean? So you're already going through a spiritual awakening. But at the same time, so now very, very soon, you're going to feel like you're going to feel first like it's getting a little bit too much. You're going to get a little bit busy. You're going to get a little bit drained. And then you will know, oh my God, I need to kind of pay attention to the actual balance in my life. And that is going to be the sign that you need to pay attention to this temporary pause for reflection and insight. So it's all about your understanding that this is the time for temporary pause for reflection and insight. And then you're going to really kind of like try to kind of meditate, try to relax, try to kind of visit the nature, try to kind of be spiritual, try to spiritually express yourself as much as you can, try to spiritually investigate as much as you can, try to reconnect yourself with yourself, through meditation. There's so many different things that you can actually do this. Try to start some kind of a process, indeed, because it's all going to lead towards an awakening where you will see things in a whole new light. And as I said, this is going to be all about you, number one, embracing your uniqueness, but at the same time, I know that this is going to sound really strange, but you're going to come across some people who are going to need your help. You're going to come across some people that are going to need your help. And please help them when that happens. This is all part of the progress, part of the process. There is something that you're going to learn so mind-blowing at that moment in time. So when you become aware of people who need your help, please do help them. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having a special sacred message from the spirit guides is going to be my gorgeous Scorpio. Scorpioni. What you need to understand, like you must really do focus on doing what you love. Okay, so you must focus on things that you love, but most importantly, you need to do what you love. Very soon after this reading, this is going to become absolutely obvious. Why am I saying this to you right now? Your energy, it's very strong. Your energy, it's very powerful. You will be noticed. You are entering the stage and the period in your life where you will be really kind of, this is not going to last forever. It's going to last only for a little while. So make the most of it, my gorgeous Scorpione. This is only going to last for a little while. That's why I'm telling you, oh, do what you love. Yeah, do you know what I mean? What I mean here is that, this energy and vibration, it's going to be different. It's going to last only for a little while. And the more you do things that you love, the more powerful you are going to be, the more successful you are going to be, and the more brighter you are going to shine. You're going to shine very brightly, especially when it comes to you being recognized. Do you know how important this is? Do you know how powerful stage this is? You know what a mind-blowing dimension you're actually entering, my gorgeous Scorpione. But it can also go two ways. If you're very dark, if you're very negative, if you're very angry, you're only going to waste this energy and you're only going to dig your own hole much deeper. Do you know what I mean? No. Do you know, it's like, no, if you're angry and if you're sad, if you're negative, you're only going to make things even worse for yourself in terms of being noticed for just that negativity, sadness and darkness and a low vibration. You need to understand that you have the power to change this energy, to manipulate this vibration and energy and make the most of it. And it's to do with you making the most of it in such a way you will pick the part of your life that you want to express yourself with, that you want to show yourself with, that you want to show your skill. You want to show what you know. You want to like kind of, maybe it's to do with your work, maybe it's to do with your career, maybe it's to do with your spirituality, maybe it's to do with like finding a partner, maybe it's to do with finding a friend. Whoever you want to be noticed by, you need to understand that your presence is going to be magical. And it's gonna like, oh my God, you're gonna elevate yourself like towards the sun, towards the moon. You'll be like as close as never before, my darling. Do you know what I mean? So this is important. So this is the very, very special message to do what you love, because you're going to get recognized for the highest quality of your work. And especially when it comes to creative endeavors, my gorgeous Scorpioni, okay? And financially, this is going to be really brilliant, but also at the same time, this is going to reflect on your emotions. And if you want to attract certain people in your life, now you're going to be able to go to the point 101, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you will be attracting the right people, the right feelings, the right emotions on so many different levels now. So at the same time, you need to kind of like understand that, this in itself, this is like a time where you are really going to collaborate and work really great and really well with others. And at the same time, this is going to bring you an absolutely excellent reputation. My gorgeous Scorpioni, make the most of this absolutely mind-blowing, powerful vibration and energy you're going to find yourself in. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about and having a special sacred message from the spirit guide is going to be my gorgeous Sagittarius. My gorgeous Sagittarini, the message from your spirit guide is the actual, this is brilliant, because now you are entering the time where you're going to start feeling a very powerful vibration when it comes to things that you are doing, when it comes to things that you enjoy doing, when it comes to things that you enjoy and love expressing yourself with, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your work, and when it comes to your finances, and when it comes to your life in general. It's the time of like a really pretty much so of the actual great success. You are entering the time of a great success, my gorgeous Sagittarini. So this is very, very important indeed. And that means that you are about to have a magical, absolutely brilliant magical epiphanies, brilliant epiphanies that are going to lead to mind-blowing magical opportunities. Please, my gorgeous Sagittarini, you need to understand this. It's going to happen at a time when you feel like really you're going to feel the great energy. You're going to suddenly feel within the next few days after you hear this reading, you're going to hear this reading when you're meant to hear this reading. But the bottom line is that you are within the next few days after you hear this reading, you're going to feel a sudden urge to reinvent yourself, to rejuvenate yourself. It's a lot to do with your own comeback, my gorgeous Sagittarini. And this is such a powerful vibration and energy in itself, really, let alone everything else that is going to be brought with it at the same time. So when you feel this really sudden urge, like you want to work on yourself, you want to work on something really specific, but it's all about you reinventing yourself, and it's all about you feeling it. It's all about you feeling this comeback. You will love it, my lord. And as soon as you kind of start focusing on it, what this is, let go, of any negativity and sadness and darkness that may be holding you down in terms of like going through illusion of some kind of entrapment. Just ignore it, and come out of it. Now it's time. But as soon as you start feeling this drive, my gorgeous Sagittarini, at the same time, you are as soon as you start feeling like, oh my God, like you want to reinvent yourself, it's to do with a comeback, you know, this is the moment sign that you are going to through this particular transition that I'm talking about. At around that time, you're going to become aware of like a very kind of powerful and rather unique signs, but especially when it comes to brilliant epiphanies that are going to lead to magical opportunities. Just understand this, that the same energy that is going to like make you feel like alive again, like, oh yeah, baby, it's going to just put you back on the map, you know, where you you should be, baby. Do you know what I mean? That the same energy, it's also going to be primarily responsible for you becoming aware of these brilliant epiphanies that are gonna feel different. It's gonna feel different. You know why? Because they're gonna lead towards magical, you know, opportunities. And at the same time, there's some kind of plans that are gonna be on your mind almost immediately. What you need to remember is to like really understand that you are entering really divine time. This is happening in rather divine timing for you. It's about divine timing, my gorgeous Sagittarini, which means that, you know, there are plans that are going to be on your mind, lots of plans, and these plans that are going to be on your mind are going to work out absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Do not forget that, please. This is a very sacred part of your spiritual journey indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having a special sacred message. Sorry. I'm sorry. The next sign that I'm going to have a special sacred message for from the spirit guide, it's going to be my gorgeous Capricorn. My gorgeous Capricornius, the message from your spirit guide is like, oh my goodness, do you know what? You are about to have a very, very exciting, very exciting intellectual challenge. Just remember this, my gorgeous Capricornius, you are about to have a very exciting intellectual challenge. And I say exciting because this intellectual challenge, it's gonna make you feel so good. It's gonna make you feel like things are suddenly moving on. It's gonna make you feel like things are finally happening. It's gonna make you feel like things are finally changing. On one hand, you're gonna understand how strong and powerful you are when it comes to your spirituality, but on another hand, you're gonna understand the actual importance of acting and being as unique as you possibly can in this life. If you're not unique, if you're not allowing yourself to be yourself, you're just not going to fulfill your role. And this is the direct karmic result from you being unique and from you being strong, standing your ground. So now this is a pretty much so to do with an absolutely mind-blowing karmic response in the term of the actual karmic reward. This is all coming from the actual karmic reward because you stood your ground so much not that long ago, maybe over the last 2 or 3 years. You know, within the last 2 or 3 years, there's an aspect of your life that you stood your ground very firmly and you stayed very well centered. So now this is the spiritual reward that you're actually having. So, but very soon after you hear this reading, you are about to have a very exciting intellectual challenge. And I say exciting, as I said before, it's because it's going to make you feel so good. It's going to make you feel so pleased with yourself. It's going to make you feel so happy with yourself because you will know that not everyone can actually face this challenge. Only people who are very special, only people who have been working very kind of hard, you know, towards something can actually get this in life. So that in itself, just the fact that you're going to be facing this intellectual challenge, it's going to make you feel so kind of good about yourself because not everyone can face like this kind of significant part of your life. So you will know a lot is going to come out of it. So of course, naturally, that you're going to feel like this is very exciting intellectual challenge. And you know what? On one hand, it's going to help you to think logically about things that absolutely don't make sense on the outside that you were aware of for a long time. Nothing to do with your life in particular, but it was affecting your life. I told you this many times. Oops, I told you this many times. So it's basically all about you understanding that at the same time, when you become aware of this intellectual challenge, that, listen, this is very, very important, yeah? So at the same time, when you become aware of this intellectual challenge, you just need to understand that there is an absolutely mind-blowing insight that this is going to bring you. This brilliant insight that this is going to bring you, it's also going to make you aware of the new start in your life and the importance of of trusting yourself, and the importance of believing in yourself, and the importance of ignoring the fears in your life that are on the outside as much as you possibly can, because you were ignoring the fears. There's so many elements here that you were rewarded just because of that, and this in itself is going to become absolutely obvious here, a mind-blowing moment in time. So this is going to bring you a brilliant insight, but also it's going to make you aware of the information that that you need, but you will know that in this information that you need, it's going to be rather challenging to receive, but at least you will be prepared for that. Okay, so this is also going to be to do with you being prepared for it, and also being prepared for the fact that you are gonna come across certain documents very, very soon, and when you become aware of this, you will know that the certain documents are coming. With all these, there are going to be certain documents that are going to have a very strong and strong connection with, and as soon as you become aware of these documents, I need you to tell you something. What I want you to tell you is, like, when it comes to these documents, you must not rush. It's not going to be horrible, terrible, or anything kind of horrible or dark or low vibration. No, baby, no. But all you need to do, what your spiritual role is, to review all documents very, very carefully. So this is something that I need you to remember, because you're going to become aware of something in between the line, and what you're going to become aware of in between the line is just going to create a really magical ripple effect. But this is going to be the good one, because it's also going to show you a more possibility with a part of your life that it's just like not making you really, really happy. So this is something that you need to understand, and it's going to happen in a way when you kind of least expect it. Okay, so this is why you need to pay attention to this, because it's going to be quite important indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be having a special message for from the spirit guide, it's going to be my gorgeous Aquarius, my beautiful Aquamarini. The message from your spirit guide is like, oh my God, okay, so now you are entering the stage where you need to understand, my gorgeous Aquamarini, you must really be the leader as much as you can. And I've mentioned this before in my previous readings. It's all about you being the leader. You must be the leader above absolutely all cost. Now you are the leader. You need to put your foot down. You need to put your point across. You need to be the leader and show to the other people how it's done. By showing to the other people how it's done, there is so much that they are going to pick up from you, through your honesty, through your beautiful energy, through your enthusiasm. But most importantly, you are going to heal them at the same time. And when you heal them, they are going to heal you. You are going to heal yourself as well. But what I need you to understand, you are, my gorgeous Aquamarini, entering the stage very, very soon. You are entering the period. You entered it already, but now you are entering the stage and the period where you're going to need to, like as I said, put your foot down, be strong. You're going to need to be decisive. Every single decision needs to come from you. Every single decision at the moment needs to come from you. I'm sorry, it needs to come from you, which means that number one, primarily you have to listen to your intuition. You have to pay attention to your subconscious mind. You have to pay attention to your voice within and give it a number one place. At the moment, you give it a number one place. Please, you must do this. You must understand. You need to understand this. So it's all about you being very decisive. The decisions need to come from you. You need to be focused. The more decisive and focused you are, the more driven you are going to be. And also at the same time, you are going to become aware of the events that are about to move with a great speed. At the moment in time when you become aware of these events that are moving with a great speed, this is going to surprise you like there is no tomorrow. This is really going to surprise you, and it's going to affect your life in a huge way, but in a big way, but in a good way, okay? And that in itself, it's really it's really, as soon as you become aware of these events that are moving on with a great speed, you know, this is to do with the events that were very, very slow, and they created so much negativity and darkness and sadness in your life. So this is going to be brilliant, because now you will see that this is moving on really quickly, and it's brilliant. But at the same time, what you need to understand here, that you are there are certain, it's not only about you becoming aware of the fact that events are moving with a great speed. What is most important here, when you become aware of this, you will know what this is, because this affected your life big time. So when you become aware of this, you need to understand that you must choose intellectual responses to challenges rather than emotional. Okay, just remember to choose intellectual responses to these challenges rather than emotional, because this is going to be followed by sudden and unexpected changes. And when that happens, my gorgeous aquamarini, all you need to do is review your options, you know, quite carefully as well. So you need to review your options quite carefully. While you are carefully reviewing your options, there is something that you're going to find out. There is something that you're going to become aware of, and what you're going to become aware of, it's going to surprise you, but at least you will know who you can trust and who you cannot trust, and this is indeed important. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having a special sacred message from the spirit guides is my gorgeous Pisces, my beautiful Piscelini. Oh my goodness, you see, the message from your spirit guide is you're entering a very, very special stage and a special period in your life. Okay, and on one hand, what you need to understand, that you are going to be presented with a certain choice, and this choice is going to be really unwise choice. And at the moment in time when you're presented with this choice, you will know that something is not quite right, something is not going to feel right, something is not going to be right. But sometimes people actually sadly go against it. Sometimes people are presented with a certain choice and they just don't protect themselves, and they don't protect their energy, they don't protect their spirit, they don't protect their soul. Why they're not protecting themselves, their spirit and their soul? Well, because they're ignoring the voice within, they're ignoring themselves. You must not ignore yourself. Give a credit to yourself, give a credit to your spirit. You've been through all this so many times over and over again. We die and then we are reborn. We die and then we are reborn. We die and we are reborn. When we are babies, we are still remember the past life for a while when we are small children, but by the time we reach 3 or 4 years old, you know, we just forget the life before. But we do kind of remember within the first few years when we are small children, when we are babies. And this is important for you to know. You need to really understand that you must kind of like give a credit to your spirit, give a credit to your soul. So basically, it's like when you are presented, you are about, my gorgeous Piscelini, you are about to be presented with a choice. And that choice, on one hand, is going to seem like too good to be true, but then on another hand, there is something not going to be right. Whether the person who is going to present this choice to you is going to seem completely off, whatever it is, however this is, you need to follow it. You need to pay attention to it, because this is going to be really unwise choice, and you don't want to take this choice. And I don't need to warn you this, because you will feel this. It's not going to happen long after you hear this reading, because you already entered this stage of your life. So it's not going to be that long, but you just need to step back as soon as you become aware of that choice, that unwise choice. And that in itself also means that you know, you are at the same time, it's not even going to be that long. Within the next couple of days, trust me, there is a mind-blowing clarity that you are going to get, that you're going to gain through someone very close to you in your life, who is going to confirm this to you, that you were absolutely right, that you did the right thing. So it's not going to be that long until you become aware of this clarity and revelation that you're actually going to become aware of. So something is going to be confirmed to you so soon. So if something doesn't sound right, stay away from it. If something something is offered to you and you just kind of like, something is just not right, just run on miles basically, you know. So it's important to not to make this unwise choice. And also at the same time, not that long after that moment in time, my gorgeous Piscelini, you are you know what is very important here. It's not only about an unwise choice and you're protecting yourself from this. Okay, of course it's important because it's going to help you to create your own harmony by doing the right thing in life. So later on in your future, you don't have to catch up this when it comes to your spirit, because if you're ignoring yourself, then at some moment in your future, you're going to have to come to terms with it in such a way where you are going to be facing that particular situation again until you respond correctly. So this is something very deep, but it's also to do with your own karma. But what is really important when it comes to you, my gorgeous Piscelini, it's not only about like, you know, you're going to be facing this choice, protect yourself, ignore things that your body, your spirit and your soul is telling you that it's not good for you. Just ignore it. If you know it's not good for you, no baby, no. If you think and you're certain that it's good for you, then I can't really help you, but you just have to follow your spirit. But what is really important here that I want to let you know, my gorgeous Piscelini, you're entering the stage of your life right now. You're entering the stage of your life that it's coming to an end. And oh my God, this is big, because wherever there is an ending, there is the actual beginning as well. So you're entering the stage of your life that it's to do with an ending, but it's leading to a new beginning. So now that in itself is going to be required from you to release situations and people right now that are holding you back. You need to think about the situations in your life that are holding you back, that are making you feel unhappy, that are making you feel sad, that are making you feel persistently negative. Do something about it. You must work on it. You must attack these problems. It's very important, my gorgeous Piscelinis, indeed. As I said, it's like all about the endings that are leading to new beginnings, but at the same time you need to release situations and people that are holding you back. Why? Because you are going through your own spiritual transformation. So it's all about trusting yourself. It's all about believing in yourself. It's all about understanding that you are moving on. You are changing right now, my gorgeous Piscelini. You are moving on. In fact, you changed so much over the last few years indeed. But the more you're honest with yourself, the quicker and the sooner you're going to be able to move on. You will see exactly which people and which situations in your life are holding you back, you know, and that is going to become evident like a clear day. Why? Because you are going through your own transformation, and from you it's naturally needed to release things that no longer serve you, so you can quickly get to the point in your life that is attractive to you the most. Okay, my gorgeous Pipolini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you, and I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.